walk this earth like a god.
You scared? What? You scared? What? You scared? What? Kicking in the door, I make the bitches hit the floor for keys. Yeah.
Travis Scott here, and I'm back with some more boxing. Anthony Joshua and Wladimir Klitschko is set to face off December the 10th later on this year. You know, a lot of things led to this matchup. A lot of different factors. Anthony Joshua, he's been coming up. He's been passing every single test with flying colors. But he's still like a up-and-coming fighter. You know, even though he's a world champion, he's still relatively unproven because, I mean, he doesn't have the resume that Wladimir Klitschko got. You know, he's still kind of proving himself, and I thought that they would move this guy along pretty slow. Wladimir Klitschko, on the other hand, is 40 years old. I mean, he dominated the heavyweight division for over a decade? You know, I mean, he beat everybody. He was unbeatable. You know, I mean, it's kind of like hard to pick a winner in this fight. It's a crazy matchup because you got one fading legend, and then you got another fighter who is coming up. You know, he's showing signs that he could potentially be great, but is he ready for this matchup right here, right now? You know, I mean, I would have thought that they would have took a fight like this maybe a year from now, 2 years from now. I mean, at least let the guy get 20 wins. But they made the fight. So Anthony Joshua is going to be facing off against Wladimir Klitschko later this year. And Anthony Joshua's IBF title is going to be on the line. Wladimir Klitschko lost all of his belts to Tyson Fury, but Tyson Fury was already stripped of the IBF, which Anthony Joshua has now, and then he got stripped of the WBO and the WBA titles. I don't know if both of those titles are going to be on the line for that fight. I'm pretty sure they're going to try to work it out, so the titles that Tyson Fury had is going to be on the line for the Anthony Joshua fight, or maybe it'll just be like the IBF and the WBO, and then it just let the WBA just float around or whatever. Now, I don't know who's going to win this fight, but I'll be rooting for Anthony Joshua to pull it off because Wladimir Klitschko, I mean, he really stunk up the heavyweight division. I mean, his style was so fucking boring that HBO stopped televising him, not because he was losing, you know, just because it wasn't entertaining. Nobody wanted to see him put on a jab fest against all of these opponents. And then he's so tall and so much taller than his opponents. It's like, and his reach was so much longer. You know, he can punch these guys from across the ring, man. And no matter how hard they try, you know, he just catch them with that jab coming in. And then if they get too close, he'll hold them or even, you know, put his weight on their back. I mean, it's a really boring style. Don't nobody want to see that shit, man. You know, Anthony Joshua he was looking like the future, and he has shown no signs that he's not the future. It's just this fight right here is crazy. I can't believe they made this shit, but you know, I think at this point, even if Anthony Joshua was to take a loss, he could still bounce back and sell a lot of tickets. You know, he's in a really good spot right now. I think he's the biggest star in the UK out of all of them. He's selling the most pay-per-views. He's selling out these arenas. You know, he's doing pretty good over there. So even if he was to lose, I mean, it'll look bad. Some people might be able to say he was a hype job, but he'd still be able to sell some tickets, man. So he'll be all right if he took a loss, but I don't want him to take a loss. I don't want this 40-year-old fading legend to get those belts back and then stink up the heavyweight division again. You know, when Tyson Fury defeated Wladimir Klitschko, it was like, you know, life has been breathed into the heavyweight division. You know, we got new blood now, a fighter in their 20s taking over the throne. Who's a trash talker? Tyson Fury was a trash talker. You know, and I felt like I don't give a damn who beat Wladimir Klitschko. Long as somebody beat Wladimir Klitschko. You know, just get this motherfucker off of the throne. Rid him of his titles. Because it was about that fucking time, don't you think? I mean, damn. How long is this guy going to jab these opponents to death and then hold on to him and use his weight against them and all of that bullshit? But his style is effective, whether it's pretty or not, just like a lot of these other fighters. You know, I mean, you do what you got to do to win. It's not like he was cheating his opponents. It was just his style. But I would hate if Wladimir Klitschko pulled off the victory. I would hate it so fucking much, man. You know, let's look at both of these fighters, man, and what they've been doing lately. Now, or even in their entire careers. Let's look at their downfalls, which Anthony Joshua hasn't had many downfalls, but let's just look into both fighters. Wladimir Klitschko is 64-4 with 53 knockouts, with 3 knockout losses. The only fight that Wladimir Klitschko lost that he didn't get knocked out in was the Tyson Fury fight. He lost 4 fights and got knocked out 3 times, which could spell disaster going against a fighter like Anthony Joshua, who is so strong. You know what I'm saying? If he touch you, you go down, you know, and then the fight is going to change. And he's 40 years old now. And the only knockout loss, or even the only loss, period, that he's ever avenged was the Lamone Brewster loss, where Lamone Brewster knocked him out. You know, I remember looking at Wladimir Klitschko's record and thinking to myself, like, what kind of fighter loses a fight, you know, not only loses, but by knockout, and is not even interested in avenging that shit? You know, like, what kind of fighter is you? What kind of person are you? He didn't want to avenge the Corey Sanders knockout loss. And then the other one, and then he avenged the Lamone Brewster knockout loss, but still, you know, I'm looking at your losses like, damn, bro, how could you just move on with your career and then now you done took back over the heavyweight division, but motherfuckers done knocked you out and you ain't even went back to try to clean that shit up or nothing. I mean, Corey Sanders, like, completely, like, wiped Wladimir Klitschko the fuck out. I think that fight ended in the 2nd round. He didn't go back to clean that shit up. But that's the decision that he made. He decided not to go and clean that loss up. And, you know, I'm looking forward to this fight. I hope Wladimir Klitschko loses this shit. You know what I'm saying? But that's the only the loss that he avenged, the Lamone Brewster loss. And Anthony Joshua is 17-0 with 17 knockouts, right? And his notable wins are a 2nd round knockout of Prince Charles Martin and the 7th round knockout of Dillian Whyte. You know, the Prince Charles Martin fight, you know, I thought that it would have been a slightly different match, but Anthony Joshua proved me wrong. He proved that he is the real deal, and he went out there and made short work of Prince Charles Martin. And he knocked out Dillian Whyte in the 7th, but he was rocked in the 2nd. You know, Dillian Whyte was kind of backed into a corner, and he just threw a shot, you know what I'm saying, pretty much out of desperation because he was cornered and didn't have nothing else to do, and it landed, and it staggered Anthony Joshua. But, you know, it's kind of understandable because they fighting at heavyweight, you know, division where anything can happen at any given moment. That's why, you know, great fighters like Lennox Lewis had a couple losses, but he avenged those losses. See, you know, Lennox Lewis got caught with a shot and wasn't able to continue, but he went back and got his rematches and cleaned that shit up. Wladimir Klitschko didn't clean up his losses. You know what I'm saying? The only loss that he cleaned up was the Lamone Brewster loss. You know, he tried to clean up the Tyson Fury one, but it was 2 other guys that knocked you out, and you didn't bother to go and clean that shit up. But that's neither here or there. That has nothing to do with this Anthony Joshua fight. And I really don't know who's going to win this fight. I'm rooting for Anthony Joshua to pull it off just because he's new blood in the heavyweight division. You know, if Wladimir Klitschko get those belts back, then it's going to go back to Americans not giving a fuck about who got the heavyweight titles. Well, you know, pretty much everybody, right? Nobody really get excited for those Wladimir Klitschko fights when he was over there fighting in Germany. Nobody give a fuck about that shit. So he get those belts back, the heavyweight division will die again. It's over with. So I'm hoping Anthony Joshua go out there and knock Wladimir Klitschko the fuck out. I'm Travis Gotti. Thank you for tuning in to Travis Gotti Boxing. Subscribe.
I gotta quit fucking with you.